Once upon a time, there was a boy named Jack who lived with his mother in a small house in the countryside. They were very poor, and the only possession they had was a very old cow. One day, Jack's mother said, "I'm afraid our old cow is not giving milk anymore. We'll have to sell her to buy food. Take her to the market and see what you can get for her." "Yes, mother," Jack said, and he led the old cow down the country road. It was a very long walk to the market, so Jack decided to take a shortcut through the forest. "Hello there, young man," a shrill voice called out. Jack was surprised and looked around. He saw an old man sitting on a tree stump. "Where are you off to, my boy?" the old man asked. "Our cow is not giving milk anymore, so I'm taking her to the market to see what I can get for her." "You know, my boy, that's a very long way, and you won't get much for that old cow. But I'll give you something for her," the old man said, extending his hand. "What about these 5 magic beans?" Even though they didn't look very magical, Jack thought they sounded interesting. He gave the old man the cow and brought the beans home to show his mother, thinking she would be very happy. "Jack, why are you back so soon? What did you get for our old cow?" her mother cried out. "Look, mother," Jack replied excitedly, thinking she would be so surprised. "I traded the old cow for 5 magic beans." But her mother was not happy at all. She scolded him angrily. "You silly boy! Now we have no cow and no money." She snatched the 5 beans and threw them right out the window, then sent Jack straight to bed. The next morning, Jack woke up and looked out the window at the bright morning light. He gasped in surprise. "Oh!" Right outside their house, a giant beanstalk had grown up from the ground, reaching all the way to the clouds. Jack was a very curious boy, and so he began to climb the beanstalk. He climbed higher and higher until his little house was just a tiny dot far below him. He kept climbing until his head popped through the clouds. He was very surprised to find a road sitting on a particularly soft cloud. Jack followed the road, and it led him to a gigantic stone castle. By the time he reached the castle gate, Jack's stomach was rumbling. He wasn't just hungry, but he was still very curious, so he knocked on the castle's tall wooden door. "Hello?" A woman answered. She was the tallest woman Jack had ever seen. She was so much taller than him that she didn't even notice little Jack down below her. "Excuse me," Jack said. "I've come a very long way, and I haven't had breakfast." "Oh," the giant woman said in surprise as she looked down at him. "We don't get many visitors here. Please come in, but you must hurry. My husband will be home soon, and if he sees you, he'll be his breakfast." The giant woman led Jack into a large kitchen where she gave him eggs, sausage, toast, and all kinds of delicious food. He ate and ate until he was quite full and very happy. "Thank you," Jack said. "That was very tasty, but I really should be getting home." He paused because right after, he heard the rumbling footsteps that made the entire castle floor shake. "Oh no, my husband is home! Quickly, hide in the cupboard!" Jack jumped into the cupboard just as the giant entered. He had a long, scraggly beard, and his mouth was twisted in an angry scowl. "Fee, fi, fum! I smell the blood of an Englishman." "Don't be silly. You smell the eggs and sausage I made for breakfast." The giant sat down and ate while Jack hid in the cupboard and watched. When the giant had finished his breakfast, he said to his wife, "Now bring me my hen." The giant woman placed a beautiful hen on the table. "Lay!" the giant roared. To Jack's astonishment, the hen laid a perfect egg, and it was made of solid gold. As soon as the giant and his wife left the kitchen, Jack crept out of the cupboard and came to the table to get a closer look at the hen. "Please, help me!" Jack jumped back in surprise. "You can talk?" "Yes, and that giant is so cruel. Every day he forces me to lay a golden egg for him. Please, take me away from here." Jack couldn't say no to a talking hen who laid golden eggs. He scooped the hen up in his arms, ran out of the castle as fast as he could, and together they scrambled down the beanstalk. "Thank you," the hen said when they reached the bottom. "How can I repay you?" "You can come live with me, and I will never force you to lay an egg." The hen was very pleased with this, and so was Jack's mother when she saw the magical talking hen. The hen only laid eggs when it wanted to, and thanks to the golden eggs, Jack and his mother lived a very good life. But one day, when Jack was playing outside, he heard a strange sound. It sounded like someone singing, but it was very far away. Jack looked around, but he didn't see anyone. Then he realized that the singing was coming from above him, up on the beanstalk. And because Jack was a curious boy and he wanted to know who was singing, he climbed the beanstalk once again. He climbed up until he reached the sky, found the road on the cloud, and he followed it to the great big castle just like he did before. He knocked on the tall wooden door. "Hello," the giant woman replied, but this time she didn't look so kind when she saw Jack. "Do you know that after the last time you were here, my husband's hen went missing?" "But I have to know who was singing," Jack tried to say. But the giant woman slammed the door in his face. Jack still wanted to know who he had heard singing, so he snuck into the castle through a window and hid in the cupboard while the giant woman cooked dinner for her husband. Soon enough, he heard the rumbling footsteps that made the whole castle shake. "Fee, fi, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman." "Don't be silly. You smell the steak and potatoes I made for dinner." The giant sat down and ate, while Jack hid in the cupboard and watched. When the giant had finished his dinner, he demanded, "Now bring me my harp." The giant woman placed a beautiful golden harp on the table, and the giant yelled, "Play!" To Jack's astonishment, the harp began to play and sing a gentle treetop lullaby. Soon enough, the giant was asleep, and his wife left the kitchen. Jack crept out of the cupboard and came to the table to get a closer look at the harp. "Please, help me." Jack jumped back in surprise. "You can talk?" "Oh, and that giant is so mean. Every night he forces me to play a song so he can sleep. Please, take me away from here." Jack couldn't say no to a singing harp. "Okay, but we have to be quick and we have to be very quiet." He took the harp in his arms, ran out of the castle as fast as he could, and they began scrambling down the beanstalk together. But as soon as the harp stopped playing, the giant woke up. When he saw that his harp was gone, he roared with rage and chased after Jack. "Mother!" Jack screeched down the beanstalk. "Get the axe right away!" As soon as he hit the ground, Jack swung the axe and began to chop at the beanstalk. The giant saw that it was about to fall, so he scrambled back up to his castle in the clouds as fast as he could. The giant beanstalk came crashing down, and that was the last Jack ever saw of the giant. "Thank you," the harp said. "How can I repay you?" "You can come live with me, and I will never force you to play or sing songs if you don't want to." The harp was very pleased with this, and so was Jack's mother when she saw the magical singing harp. People came from miles around to hear its music. Thanks to the harp and his kindness, Jack and his mother lived a very good life, and in the end, they were never hungry again.